Hi, my name is Kasha, and I just want to thank you for joining my group today. Today, we're going to talk about creating a healthier life and what that looks like in recovery. I also wanted to point out that I went and I printed out this packet. It's Creating a Healthier Life, and it's a step-by-step guide to wellness. You can actually go to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's website and you can print this out. If you like to journal, if you like to write, I highly suggest it. I think you'll find it beneficial. And I will put that website at the end of this presentation. So anyway, the 8 dimensions of wellness. So I don't know if anyone has ever heard of this, but it's basically showing how all of these pieces are interconnected and they build off of one another. So wellness is more than just, I guess when I think of wellness, I always think of exercise and diet, but those are the first things I think of. But actually, there's 8 dimensions of that and they all connect, they all build off of one another. So I put this diagram here, but the 8 dimensions of wellness are emotional, physical, occupational, intellectual, financial, social, environmental, and spiritual. So emotional, the example they have here is coping effectively with life and creating satisfying relationships. The financial, they have satisfaction with current and future financial situations. Social, developing a sense of connection, belonging, and a well-developed support system, which is super important in recovery. A lot of us when we were using, we did not have a good support system, or our social circle was completely unhealthy and toxic, and we're trying to get away from that. So it's crucial, that we build a new connections with people, and we feel a sense of belonging, and they're supportive. Spiritual, expanding our sense of purpose and meaning in life. Occupational, personal satisfaction and enrichment derived from one's work. Physical, recognizing the need for physical activity, diet, sleep, and nutrition, which we will go over that in depth in either another presentation or this one. Intellectual, recognizing creative abilities and finding ways to expand knowledge and skills. And then environmental, good health by occupying pleasant, stimulating environments that support well-being. All right, so that kind of leads me to how do we create this balance? I know, for myself, a lot of it is routine and habit. The older I'm getting, I like routine. I like habits. Having self-defined routines and habits can offer personal balance and satisfaction. Routine and habit is generally determined by our basic needs, such as nutrition, food, shelter, safety. Our habits affect what we eat, what we wear, how we relate to others, and how we go to work, how we spend or save money, and more. So using a routine that works for us is important. So every individual is different. Calendars, or I guess everyone has a calendar, on their phone now. There's an app for that, for everything. But I think calendars are a great way of, keeping routine and, even celebrating an accomplishment. And it kind of is that reminder of, how far you've come even. I guess I'm thinking more physical fitness right now. It's a great way to track how far you've come. So, and it takes routine. It's that repetitive behavior, that we need to repeat over and over. until it becomes automatic. So also checklists help people. Um, Sticky notes, I mean, whatever helps you. I was raised in a household where my mother had white, like dry erase boards all over the place. And I remember we used to tease her about it. And, we had to write like where we went, who we were with, what time, we left, what time we'd be back. And my parents were very strict. I'm very thankful for that though. But anyway, so now, I mean, I have whiteboards in my house. So it's kind of funny. I have dry erase boards in my home. So anyway, I'm a big fan of calendars, planners, sticky notes, and dry erase boards. So, some of us do need that visual to, keep us going and keep us on track. If you have to write, even goals on that dry erase board, and then go for it. If you have to write it on note cards and put them around your house, do it. You just have to find what works best for you. So next, I think we're going to talk about just improving your physical wellness and what that looks like. All right, so first we're going to start with physical activity. Most adults do not get enough physical activity. A lot of us have office jobs, where we're sitting in front of a computer all day. We just, maybe we're taking care of families, children, and we just, by the end of the day, we are just exhausted. And, the last thing you feel like doing is going and running or walking and having some sort of workout. So, but it is really important. Adults need at least 150 minutes of exercise per week. And if you break that down into 7 days a week, that's actually only 22 minutes a day. It's very important, not only for our physical health, but also our mental health. When the pandemic started in March of 2020, walking is something that I just kind of got into, just because of everything that was going on, and it was a way to keep myself sane. I wanted to walk, and I know a lot of it was my anxiety. Like I wanted to do something. I had to do something. So I believe my husband was off for a couple months because of COVID. And so I think him and I would start walking in the evenings, and, nothing like strenuous. It was very more just relaxed and, talking and spending time together. But then I slowly started to want to do it more and more, and I started walking by myself in the mornings really early, like 4:45, 5 in the morning, and I would just walk and walk. And I know I started like maybe 2 miles, and then I've built up to 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles. And then throughout the summer, there was a point where I was walking 15 to 30 miles a week, and I felt amazing. It did so much for not only my physical health, but my mental health. It was just a time, that a lot of people, they were experiencing depression, anxiety, and, a loss of control. And for me, walking was a way of just getting, I love listening to music. So on my walks, I always listen to music, and it was my time with God and time to, just sort out my thoughts. And, it helped me tremendously. And still today, like I walk every morning. And I'm not saying this to brag or anything, because I was not in this routine at all. So I'm sharing this because it does take time, to get into a routine and, healthy habits. And it takes time, but it will happen. And you'll get to the point where, you actually want, to go for a walk or eat better. And it's amazing. So anyway, I just share that because it can be done. So, and today I walk every day. If I don't walk for some reason, it really throws me off. And so I try to fit it in then, in the afternoon or in the evening. So anyway, so with exercise, it provides multiple benefits for people in recovery. And one of its most important roles is creating a structure to your day, like I mentioned. There's something about that, starting your day out with that walk or that, workout, lifting weights, Pilates, yoga, whatever you're into, whatever's fun to you, I say go for it. For me, it has to be enjoyable. It has to be fun. So, or I'm not going to do it. So anyway, addicts need to know what to do when, early on in recovery, and they're working to rebuild their lives, and they need to have set times for specific activities because it serves a critically important function. Exercise in particular has the advantage of being, something that you can do for 15 minutes a day. You can do for 30 minutes a day. There's even videos on YouTube that I follow a few women that they have like 5-minute workouts. They have 10-minute workouts. And then like sometimes I'll just do like 2 or 3 of their workouts. And I love it. And it's not like this, hour workout or 2-hour workout. And I think that's where a lot of people, it kind of loses them because they're like, I don't have 2 hours to work out. Like, are you kidding me? So even if you just start small, even if you go for like a 20-minute walk, it really improves your mood. It improves your mental health, your thinking. Your thoughts are more clear. I have found that I'm just in a better mood. Like I know my family can tell too. Sometimes it's even a joke. They'll be like, you need to go for a walk. And I'm like, yes, I do. So just a very important piece of, everyday life, but especially, when you're in recovery. A lot of people in recovery, like we did not take care of ourselves. I know when I was in recovery, I was not worrying about physical activity. That was like the last thing on my list. I remember though, when I was in treatment, when I was 20 years old, I remember they taught us Tai Chi, and that was so uncomfortable for me. But it was very beneficial. So, if there are things that you've never tried, like try to have an open mind, and you may end up really enjoying them. I know the more like yoga focused things, like the picture here, the woman doing yoga, those sort of things where you have to slow down and really, clear your mind. Those are a little more difficult for myself, but I would really benefit from them. So I'm more one to do, very active things that you're just going and going. But anyway, so, yoga, gentle stretching, it can help relieve stress, and it just keeps you in a positive mental state. So, all right, on to the next one. All right, so now we are going to talk about a balanced diet and the importance of that. So I think it is safe to say that most of us know that the typical American diet is not the healthiest diet. If you go in our grocery stores and pick up any food item, and read the back nutrition label, you can see that we have a lot of processed foods, a lot of sugar in our foods, a lot of artificial flavors, a lot of artificial colors, and none of these things are healthy for us. So it can be difficult, to even learn how to eat in a healthy manner. I have on this slideshow here that, you need to make sure you get enough fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and lean proteins. I highly suggest, going on YouTube and following some people that can even show you how to eat healthy. I'm a very visual person, so that has helped me. And even, watching a YouTube about how to shop. It may sound silly, but I think a lot of people, we don't even know how to read a nutrition label. So it's just things that we, maybe weren't taught. So it's never too late to learn. So anyway, so as far as nutrition goes, I'm on this page of the packet. It is, I don't know if you can see it, but it's page 8, and it's improving our physical wellness. So some things to think about nutrition, are things like, do you have access to fresh, healthy food? Are you in a position to eat at home so you can better track what you are putting into your body? Are you improving your diet by setting small goals for small changes each day, week, or month? So, and that's the important thing, I think, is, starting small, just setting a small goal for yourself for the week. And even if it's like, this week I'm going to try and eat an apple every day, like, it's a start. Or, even with water, that's another thing we should talk about, getting enough water every day. Even if you start with like, okay, I'm going to drink at least 2 bottles of water a day, it's better than nothing. Back to the typical American diet, we have a lot of, sodas, and we have energy drinks, and there's coffee drinks that contain a lot of sugar, and they're good. They may taste good, but they're not good for us. So, but also, cooking can be fun, and it's really good food. And that's the thing, like, I know for me, like, I love healthy food. I do, like, I love it. Even as a kid, as a very strange child, even as a kid, I ate spinach. I probably ate more vegetables as a kid than I do now. Yeah, I don't know, don't ask. But, you can have fun with the way you cook, and you can make it a family thing. It doesn't have to be, I think a lot of people, when they think of healthy food, they're just like, ugh, boring, gross, no flavor. And actually, there are so many things you can do with food and spices, and you can make it so flavorful, and your body, you will actually start to want those foods, like crave them. I can tell, like, it may sound silly, but I can tell, when my body needs a salad or when I need to eat some fruit. I don't know, I can just tell. I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I, indulged a little, and I don't know, my body will just tell me like, oh, you know what, you need to eat something better. So it's all, all of this, again, it ties into starting healthy habits, and you have to start somewhere. So even if you start small, it's better than nothing. Definitely, I highly suggest YouTube, again, to just see how to eat healthy and grocery shop. And I mean, why not utilize the internet? That's why we have it, and it's such a good tool. There's also, social media. There are a lot of people you can follow as well. There's Facebook pages, healthy eating, cooking pages. So, and I can provide more links at the end as well for cooking. So. All right, getting enough sleep. So the average adult needs 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Um, when we have enough rest, when we have enough sleep, we can think clearer. We're definitely in a better mood. Um, we're able to take on, challenges throughout the day. Um, we won't overeat. I feel like when I know for myself, if I don't get enough sleep, I just don't make good decisions. I tend to snack, eat things I shouldn't. I'm, very snappy with my family. So sleep is super important. Our bodies need that rest every night. There's so much that our body does when we're asleep. So it's very important. It's also super important for your mental health. So I know it can be difficult, but if you can, just try and get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I know if you're a parent, especially with little ones, that is even more of a challenge. So definitely understand. But some things you can do, to help yourself get into that sleep mode is just, avoiding physical activity and screen time a few hours before bedtime. I have to be really careful with doing any kind of exercise before bedtime because then I'm very amped up and it's hard for me to like shut back down. So something I have to be really careful with. Screen time, horrible habit of mine, being on my phone, before I go to bed. As I'm getting older though, I'm noticing I can fall asleep much faster and I am sleeping deeper. So very interesting. If you are a parent with little ones, you will get some sleep. You will get your sleep back, trust me. And then also you want to avoid large meals before bedtime. Definitely watching your caffeine throughout the day. Again, I drink a cup of coffee in the morning and I really like tea. So I have to be very careful. I can usually tell when I've had too much caffeine. Yeah, it's not pleasant. So definitely that can, impact people being able to fall asleep at night. There are sleep apps that you can put on your phone to help you fall asleep if you do have problems falling asleep. I think one of them is on Calm, I think it's called. And there's just different activities you can do. I'm going to say like there's mindfulness, there's music, there's meditation, and I've tried it before, and it really does put you in a very relaxed state. So, if you struggle with anxiety and it's difficult for you to fall asleep, this is definitely something you can try. I strongly recommend it. Another thing you can try is journaling before you go to sleep, reading. That can really help clear your mind and your thoughts and, so that it's easier for you to fall asleep. And another one are using sound machines or a fan. I have to have a fan on when I sleep, and just mostly for the noise. I need some kind of white noise to help me fall asleep. But there are also sound machines. I know we had those for our kids when they were babies. So, but again, I will post links at the end of this so you can, if you do need extra resources, you can utilize those. Okay, so now we're going to talk about water. An easy tip to remember with water is that you need 8 glasses a day. If you are like me, I cannot stand a drink out of a glass. I don't know why. I have no idea why. But I highly recommend getting a water bottle. I don't go anywhere without this thing. It's like my lifeline. And this is 40 ounces, and I think I fill it probably 4 or 5 times a day. But I love water, especially living here. I need it. I can tell if I have not had enough water. It's crazy. But I grew up in the Midwest. Even when I go back home to visit, I don't drink as much. So it's just this dry climate. It, your body needs more. And definitely, if you are working out or, some kind of physical activity, you're going to need that much more water to replenish your fluids. Water is your body's principal chemical component and makes up about 50 to 70% of your body weight. Your body depends on water to survive. I think this is interesting. Every cell, tissue, and organ in your body needs water to work properly. For example, water gets rid of waste through urination, perspiration, and bowel movements. It keeps your temperature normal and it lubricates and cushions your joints. It protects sensitive tissues. Lack of water, which is dehydration. It's a condition that occurs when you don't have enough water in your body to carry out normal functions. Even mild dehydration can drain your energy and make you feel tired. So that is why we need, 8 glasses a day. And if you struggle with the taste of water, I know some people, they cannot stand the taste of water. There are so many ways you can make your water flavorful. The best way, personally, I think is, adding fruit. You can add lemon to your water. Some people, they'll cut up, I think, like strawberries, berries, and it flavors your water, and they find it much more enjoyable. So also, I think even adding ice to your water goes a long way. So definitely, maybe you don't like water, but it's, as you can see, it's very important. And I highly recommend, getting a water bottle so you can always take it with you and never leave home without it. So spiritual wellness. Spiritual wellness is going to mean something different for each and every one of us. Spiritual wellness is a pretty broad concept. It represents one's personal beliefs and values and involves having meaning, purpose, and a sense of balance and peace. This includes recognizing our search for meaning and purpose in human existence. Also developing an appreciation for life and natural forces that exist in the universe. Again, this looks different for each and every one of us. I'm just going to share a little bit of my story. I was raised by a God-fearing woman. She taught us the Bible early on. I still remember John 3:16. That was like the Bible verse that she taught us. And, life happens, and my parents divorced when I was 9, and I prayed and prayed and prayed for my parents to get, stay together, and they didn't. And I think that was like the first, kind of disbelief in God. I was a little girl. I didn't understand. It was world shattering for me, for most kids. And then I think from that point on, I really think I tried like to hold on to that, but again, life comes along and I just put up a wall. So no belief system. I was probably pretty much agnostic. Although I did remember what my mom had taught me, right? And I went to treatment when I was 20. And I remember they kept talking about higher power. And I was just like, what are they talking about? Like anything that had to do with spirituality, God, it made me super uncomfortable. I wanted nothing to do with it. So I'm sharing this. I'm just being honest. I know that we all come from different backgrounds. We come from, you know, broken families. We come from hurt. We come from, some of us were abused, and, all we knew was, chaos and addiction. And so, that was a huge part of my recovery that was foreign to me, and I kept a solid wall. But I remember when I was in treatment, they talked about, higher power, and I remember I was like, okay, my higher power is a tree then. And it is what it is. Like, it got me through, those times. Because part of me, I was so darn stubborn, and I was like, nope, not happening. I knew that's what, this sounds horrible, but I knew that's what my mom wanted, and I just resisted, until I was 31, all that time, 31. And then that is when, I was at a different kind of low point in my life, and I was like, I cannot do this anymore. Like, I am not in control, and that is when things changed for me spiritually. Now I'm a Christian. I just, that just changed my entire life. It changed everything for me. It's, my husband and I always say, like, God saved our marriage, and it's true. So, I'm just sharing this because I came from one, side of the spectrum, opposite side of the spectrum to, today. And it's looking back on, like, all that I went through with addiction and, just all the things I've been through. I won't go into great detail, but it's like God never did turn his back on me. If anything, I walked away from him. But anyway, I know that we all have different beliefs, religions, but spirituality, that connectedness with your higher power, whomever that is that you connect with, nothing like it. So if you do struggle with that, I understand. I was there. I think we all go through those moments of disbelief and questioning. So, you're not alone. And especially, I think, when you are going through recovery, you feel you want to be in control. You think you're in control, but you're not. There's got to be something better out there. There's got to be someone that is in control, and there is. I know that looks different for each and every one of us, and with that, I also want to say, to keep an open mind about other religions, be understanding and accepting, we just need someone to listen, and we all want to be respected. And maybe you don't agree with someone's beliefs or religion, but it doesn't hurt, to listen. And we're all entitled to our different beliefs. But anyway, I love that part, recognizing our search for meaning and purpose in human existence, and developing an appreciation for life and the natural forces that exist in the universe. Health and self-care, very, very important part of just everyday life and in the recovery process. So a lot of us when we were using, we definitely were not practicing self-care. I know for me, I was clearly in survival mode. Self-care was not even on my radar. Or my self-care looked very differently. It was not self-care, even though maybe I thought it was. So you have to find what works for you. And, you know, some people, self-care will be going and getting a manicure, going and getting a pedicure. Some people, it is, I'm not kidding, I know someone that does this, is organizing their closet. It's going to look different for everyone. Maybe going and getting a cup of coffee by yourself, maybe even like calling your mom, calling a friend, listening to music is a huge one for me. I love, you know, to get in my car and listen to my music. Walking, I love to walk, and that's when I connect with God. That is when I talk to Him. That's when I listen to Him. That is when I listen to my music again, and it's, you know, the sunshine, and it's just a way of connecting with, you know, everything that God has given to me, has blessed me with. So that self-care is important. It's going to look different for everyone. I know it's going to look different for men versus women. I know my husband, he lifts weights. I know that's his self-care, and he listens to music. So it's going to look different for each and every one of us, and it's going to be a big kind of discovery, you know, because if you're new to recovery, you may even be like, I have no idea what self-care is. Like, what does that look like? I have never done that, you know, and especially when you are taking care of a family, raising a family, you can tend to put yourself on the back burner, and you're just trying to survive, you know, get through to the next day, get through to the next day. So even, you know, taking a bath after you've put your kids to bed, you know, journaling, again, it's going to look different for each and every one of us. If you need more ideas, I can post something at the end of the PowerPoint. So I just wanted to take the time to thank you for joining the group today, and I hope you found this information helpful. And I also added some additional resources here. Again, I highly encourage you to check out, you know, health related groups and exercise groups on, you know, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever social media you use. That has been very, very helpful. So thank you again.